You ever throw a little backyard barbecue, thinking it'll be ribs, lemonade, and maybe a bad dad joke or twin instead? You accidentally ignite a full-on HOA war? Yeah, this is one of those nights. You probably won't survive this without pausing for snacks. So, before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And hey, drop your city and local time in the comments. I love seeing where everyone's watching from. Now, let's dive straight into the madness. The smell of sizzling ribs floated lazily through the summer air. Smoke curling above Jack's lake cabin like an invitation. Kids darted between lawn chairs, laughter spilling into the breeze while soft music drifted from the porch speakers. It was one of those perfect evenings you wish you could bottle. Until headlights cut across the gravel driveway like searchlights in a prison escape movie. 3 squad cars. Jack froze mid-flip of a burger, spatula trembling slightly in his hand. Out from behind them strutted Karen, HOA president, floral blouse pressed to combat perfection, lips curled in victory. She pointed right at Jack, yelling, "That's him. He's running an illegal event, disturbing the peace." Somewhere, historians still argue whether Karen practiced that speech in the mirror beforehand. The officers marched up the path, boots crunching over gravel, hands hovering near their belts like a movie poster for Barbecue Bus 2, The Reckoning. Conversations died instantly. Even the crickets hit pause. Then the cabin door creaked open, and out walked Mayor Thompson, casually carrying a plate of ribs like Zeus descending Mount Olympus. Everything froze. The cops stopped mid-stride. Spatulas dangled in stunned silence. And Karen's smugness faltered as the mayor wiped his hands on a napkin and asked softly, "Is there a problem here?" A neighbor whispered, "Oh, she's done." Jack tried to explain, but Karen couldn't resist. Mayor or not, this violates Section 14B of the Community Guidelines. She barked, shaking her printed rules binder like it was the Declaration of Independence. The mayor tilted his head, amused. "Karen," he said, "you call the police. Over hamburgers." Gasps spread like wildfire. One of the officers cleared his throat. "Mom, unless someone's illegally summoning crocodiles, this isn't exactly a police matter." Fun fact, ancient Egyptians actually used crocodile dung as sunscreen. Don't try it. Dermatologists hate that hack. The crowd cracked nervous laughs. Tension thinning, but Karen doubled down, demanding fines and order restored. That was when the mayor pulled a county land record from his folder, revealing Jack's property was grandfathered in. Karen's face drained faster than my phone battery at 2%. Cheers erupted. Marshmallows roasted. And for a moment, Jack thought the worst was over. Spoiler, it wasn't even close. Karen wasn't the kind of person to lose quietly. If she'd been a volcano, this was the rumbling stage before the eruption. By sunrise, Jack's phone buzzed with a text from Mike. "Heads up. Emergency HOA meeting. 3 p.m. She's making it about you." Jack walked into the clubhouse that afternoon, and it felt like entering a courtroom where the jury already hated you. Karen sat at the head of the table, binder stacked taller than the burgers from last night, pearl necklace glowing under fluorescent lights like a war medal. She sneered the moment she saw him. Well, if it isn't the rule breaker himself. Karen started reading charges like a prosecutor auditioning for a TV drama: unauthorized gathering, excessive noise, unpermitted structures, and attracting unruly guests. Jack nearly laughed unless you count Mrs. Green's potato salad as dangerous. The wildest thing at that barbecue was a kid spilling grape soda. The board members shifted uncomfortably. Doubt creeping in. That's when the door opened, and Mayor Thompson stepped inside. No announcement. No fanfare. Just calm authority dripping from every step. Karen sputtered, "This is a closed meeting." The mayor smiled. "Good thing I'm also a neighbor." Then came the moment historians still debate over. Karen whipped out a property map, claiming Jack's land fell under HOA expansion rules. Without missing a beat, the mayor produced a county record proving Jack's cabin was grandfathered in. A cinematic reversal if there ever was one. But Karen wasn't done yet. Days later, Jack found bold flyers stuffed in every mailbox. Community alert. Unsafe activities at Jack's cabin. Lies stacked on lies, unsafe food. Illegal alcohol. Trash everywhere. Mrs. Green waved one in disgust, muttering, the only thing unsafe was her potato salad last Christmas. Things escalated fast. Karen staged a fake inspection, hiring men in suits pretending to be state property officials, snapping photos like paparazzi on assignment. Lily filmed the whole thing, later confirming with the real commission that none of those inspectors were legitimate. Jack and the mayor confronted Karen at the next HOA meeting, exposing the stunt. Gasps rippled through the room, followed by cheers when the board unanimously voted to strip Karen of her HOA presidency. Jack thought it was over, but the silence afterward was louder than Karen's yelling ever had been. 3 nights later, his porch was spray-painted with "Get Out." Mike's mailbox was smashed. Lily's tires slashed. Someone shattered Mrs. Green's garden gnome, which, frankly, historians may someday declare the true spark of open rebellion. This wasn't HOA drama anymore. It was personal, and Karen stripped of power, but not pride wasn't done fighting. The first sign that Karen was done playing by the rulebook came on a quiet Saturday. Jack had organized a lake day of kindness. Just neighbors cleaning the shoreline, planting saplings, and sharing food. No loud music, no gross hustrives, lemonade, and the smell of sunscreen that somehow always smells like childhood summers and mild regret. By noon, laughter bounced off the lake. Then a white SUV screeched to a halt, followed by a tow truck and 2 more vehicles. Out stepped Karen, now ditching her floral blouse for a leather jacket, flanked by men who definitely weren't locals. One carried a crowbar. Another wore mirrored sunglasses like he was auditioning for a low-budget action movie. "Jack," Karen called sweetly, voice sharp enough to slice glass. "I told you this wasn't over." Then she barked one chilling word: "Tear it down." The outsiders surged forward, smashing Jack's mailbox, prying at the porch railing, one hurling a rock straight through his window. Chaos rippled through the yard. Kids crying, neighbors shouting, the sound of glass cracking like lightning. Jack planted himself on the porch steps, shouting, "This is my home." One of the men shoved him hard, gravel digging into his palms as he stumbled back. And then sirens. A black SUV swung into the driveway, tires spitting dirt, and out stepped Mayor Thompson with 2 uniformed officers. "Enough!" the mayor roared, voice thunderous. The officers raised their hands, weapons down. Now, the vandals froze. Neighbors rallied, shouting from porches, phones recording every moment. Karen tried one last stand, pointing at Jack. "He doesn't belong here." The mayor stepped closer, his voice low, steady. "Karen, you've crossed every line. You staged fake inspections, vandalized property, incited violence. You're under arrest." The officers cuffed her right there on the gravel, her shouts echoing as she was dragged toward the squad car. The outsiders scattered, engines roaring into the distance. Relief washed over the crowd, but it was short-lived. Weeks later, from jail, Karen launched a smear campaign, mailing letters and stirring supporters online. One morning, Jack's dock was found sawed apart, boards floating like broken teeth on the lake surface. Spray painted across the boathouse in dripping red. "If Karen falls, everyone falls." The mayor called an emergency town hall at the park. Hundreds showed. Jack took the stage, scanning the faces of neighbors who had been divided for months. "She thought kindness was weakness," he said, voice shaking but firm. "But kindness is what saved us. Look around. We are stronger than fear, stronger than lies, stronger than threats. This lake doesn't belong to Karen. It belongs to us." The crowd erupted, standing together at last. Volunteers rebuilt Jack's dock. Lily students painted bright murals over the spray paint. And Mrs. Green delivered sweet tea to everyone within a mile radius like a one-woman peace treaty. Karen was gone, but the scars of broken window, the shredded trust, the spray-painted threats remained as reminders of how fragile community really is. And yet, in that fragility, something new had grown, a choice to look out for one another, to rebuild together, to protect their lake and each other. The lake now reflects it all. Every laugh, every memory, every fight survived. And Jack stands on his new dock at sunset, fishing rod in hand, watching ripples spread slowly across the water. For the first time in months, he breathes easy. The storm has passed, at least for now. The night settles soft over the lake, folding the last traces of sunlight into velvet shadows along the shoreline. You can almost hear the hush, the way the crickets sing just low enough to remind you that chaos always gives way to quiet eventually. Jack leans against the railing of his rebuilt dock, a mug of coffee warming his hands, the faint scent of pine and charcoal drifting through the air like an old memory returning home. Across the water, the boathouse glimmers faintly beneath the soft glow of painted murals. Kids' laughter carries in little bursts from somewhere down the trail, distant but warm, as though the land itself is slowly learning to exhale again. Mrs. Green's soft humming drifts across the yard, her cane tapping rhythmically as she waters her new flowers, bright petals swaying like forgiveness in bloom. There's no shouting now, no engines, no flashing lights, only ripples and stillness. The fight feels like a far-off storm, one you remember not for its fury, but for the way it cleared the sky afterward. It's in this quiet, Jack realizes, where the heart of community truly lies, not in bylaws or fences or rules, but in the way neighbors share food, carry boxes, and mend each other's broken edges. And maybe that's the lesson Karen never understood. Power fades. Fear burns out. But kindness lingers. It stacks, piece by piece, until one day you wake up to find yourself surrounded, not by conflict, but by connection. The dock creaks gently beneath his boots as Jack reels in his line. The last light slipping beneath the horizon. For the first time in months, the lake finally rests. And so does he.